Hi guys, this is Woobot playing Raid Shadow Legends, and today we're going to go over level 20 Ice Golem. So this dungeon has a lot of good pieces of gear that I still use for in-game. I use the defensive set and the life set, as well as the resistance set. There's also pretty good pieces of gear like the crit rate, the taunting, but it's a very good dungeon because it focuses on slower DPS, and I'll explain why here in a second. So the boss's main skill is an AoE that procs during certain thresholds of his hit points. So when he reaches 80%, 60, 45, 30, and 15%, he's going to proc this AoE. And based on the amount of allies, he has two allies, based on the amount of allies that are still alive during that time, that skill is going to proc different ways. So the first thing that's going to happen is he's going to ignore 50% of your defense for each ally alive, as well as he has a 20% chance to freeze you, and an additional 40% for each other ally that's still alive. So when you're frozen, you're going to miss a turn, as well as your skills don't go on cooldown. So it's very important that you kind of manage your DPS on the boss, or you have certain champions that can either block debuffs or remove debuffs. So Doom Priest has a passive that for each turn that he has, he removes debuffs and heals you. I want to go through here and just kind of go through a level 20 dungeons, and I do usually run some legendaries in here, but I want to take them out just because I know not everyone has legendaries. So I usually use Raglan as my lead for the aura and the defense percent here, along with she has high resistance, she removes debuffs, she heals and reses, and then I use Ignatius to burn down the waves. I know a lot of people don't have legendaries or looking for ways to not use legendaries, so I'm going to go ahead and take them out and try to use some rares and epics. I'll probably use Apothecary as the lead because I don't think I have a lot of people with either dungeons or all battle auras here. So he has a pretty good defensive aura that I'll use. And let's go ahead and we'll keep Occult Brawler for the poisons. One trick with the poisons is if you proc the boss's hit point thresholds with poisons, he won't initiate his AoE skill that we're talking about. We're going to get some sustainability here, and then we'll throw on Kale as well. I know a lot of people have Kale. So I got two poisoners, some AoE potential for trash waves and stuns, along with some shields and heals here. Madame Ceres is going to remove buffs and place the decreased attack and decreased defense. The decreased attack is very important in this, so let's go ahead and see if this team can do it. I don't think Kale is very well geared. Apothecary might be semi-okay geared. But the main trick here on the first wave, it's not too hard. The second wave, I think, has some husk, maybe two husk that has some AoEs that can stun you. Other than that, I don't think the trash waves are very difficult in this dungeon. The main thing with this is managing your DPS during the boss fights. So far it looks like we're managing the first wave here. Not very high DPS. I took Ignatius out, so Ignatius usually burns down these trash waves pretty fast for me. But I want to see if we can do this with just rares and epics here. So we got some Fear Zone there, got some debuffs. The poisons, that's what I want on the boss. I want the poisons on the boss. So hopefully we can take down the other two allies decently fast. And then on the boss, we can proc a lot of poisons. and have that decreased attack. So if he does proc that AoE, it doesn't trash my team here. Okay, so we've managed to make it to the boss, a little over 2 minutes. Again, you can definitely speed this up with better champions, like Ignatius. He'll go through those waves real fast. Seer will also go through those pretty fast. But yeah, so want to see if we can manage our DPS here to avoid that AoE at least when his allies are alive, and maybe proc some of these poisons here to get past some of those skill thresholds that he has. So Madame Ceres is probably going to be able to keep up that decreased attack and decreased defense, hopefully the whole time. Right now I play her in arena, so really her main job is just high accuracy. I don't have insane gear on her for anything else other than accuracy. But so hopefully I can keep her alive. Apothecary is just fast. I tried to get a little bit of defense and crit rate in there, but he has pretty subpar gear. Kale is pretty squishy. I need to probably replace some of his gear to get more defense. That way he can utilize just his poison. So there's a lot of poisons that just tick there. I kind of wish that they had a percent hit point bar. That way we can see the hit points. But as you can see, there's a lot of poisons that I got going on here. Because I got a Cult Brawler and Kale, there's other poisoners if you don't have a Cult Brawler that you can use. Steel Skull would be good. I think I was actually going to put Steel Skull in just to have some more buffs and heals, but I forgot. I actually left a Cult Brawler in here, but it actually doesn't look like it's going too bad unless we get unlucky with the hit point threshold here. But it looks like I don't have a lot of AoEs, because if you start doing a lot of AoEs, those allies are going to stay alive, and you're going to hit that hit point threshold when you don't want it. So hopefully we can get around, I think there's a 15% here that, okay, so we have no allies left. We got a decent amount of poisons. And another thing that I like to try to not do is have decreased turn meters, because I want him to take his turn with all these poisons. So there you go, a little under 5 minutes there. Not too bad. If you look on the damage here, our Kale and our Cult Brawler, those are our poisoners, so they dealt pretty much all the damage on the boss. Miscreated Monster, that damage was probably on the waves, and then Madame Ceres was just there for the debuffs, and the Apothecary has some heals and speed increases. So yeah, hopefully that helps. And if you guys have any other ideas of how to make this more free-to-play friendly, let me know. But the main trick here is manage your DPS and your AoEs. Of course, if you have someone like Martyr, they're going to be able to solo it, but not everyone has those champions. But hopefully this helps. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.